All right, so now we'll turn it over to Jada for our health nugget for today. Jada, take it away.
All right, thank you. Hello, Sabbath School.
Hello.
I want to say that one thing that stood out with, besides just how good the Sabbath School lesson was this week, that God provided bread and water for Elijah. I made sure I underlined that because that does help with depression. So if you are hydrated, that will help to make you feel depressed. It will lift your mood if you're hydrated. So I'm going to remind everybody we are trying to do a hydration challenge where you get enough water. And remember, it takes about 28 days, 21 to 28 days to create a new habit. So if you don't do so well one day, keep trying till you make it a habit. And if you don't remember, you don't know how much water you need, this is our basic formula. Your weight, I weigh 130 pounds, divided by 2, the quotient in ounces is what you need in water. And also remember, if you have congestive heart failure, something like that, or renal failure, this is not for you. You're trying to get rid of water and you're having a problem with that. You are not needing to get more water. So just remember that. Keep trying, everyone, to get sufficient water as you can. And Steve, thank you for going and getting that big glass.
Hey, I'm doing better. I'm doing better.
And another thing in the Sabbath school lesson, God provided bread for Elijah. And bread is made of grains, and B vitamins are in grains. And that has a lot to do with our brain function and mood, our B vitamins. So usually, I don't talk about supplements that often. You know, I'm a big proponent about taking them, but I don't talk about them that much on the Health Nugget. Instead, I mostly talk about superfoods. And I will say, however, not all supplement sources are created equal. So therefore, you need to be careful about where you get them. So like off-brands, dollar stores may not be the quality place for you to get supplements. Just something to keep in mind. But today I want to talk about B vitamins. B vitamins are essential for life. They help the body functions with such things as healthy brain function, normal nerve function, cardiovascular support, energy metabolism or maintaining your energy level, red blood cell formation, healthy skin, hair, nails, healthy digestion, circulatory system support. That's just to name a few. So we need B vitamins. And remember that B vitamins are water soluble. So that means your body doesn't store excess amounts, except for B12, that's stored in your liver. And the unused B vitamins come out in your urine. So therefore, we need to have a continuous supply of B vitamins in our diet. And after a week of no B vitamins, you may start to feel the difference. You might feel tired or something. Your body, you might still, you need to replenish. And you know that disease beriberi, and that's caused by B vitamin deficiency. So since I'm not going to go into actually taking a B supplement, I'm going to talk about superfoods where we can get our B vitamins. Just 2 specific superfoods right now. Grains have them, other foods. But today I'm going to talk about, and if you haven't heard of it, you'll find out. But those of us who are vegetarians and vegans, we know all about nutritional yeast. Nutritional yeast is an excellent source of B vitamins. And also there is Brewers yeast, which has been around for a very long time. And they're 2 very different things. And these are not the yeast that you use when you're baking bread. We're not talking about that. It might be kind of the same family, but they're totally different. B12 is something that they tell us a lot of vegans need. Also, people who eat meat need B12 as well. Let me tell you about nutritional yeast. Nutritional yeast, has anyone ever heard of nutritional yeast, first of all? Okay, so let me start from the beginning. Nutritional yeast comes in flakes, powder. It comes in, I think those are the two forms, but those I usually buy the flakes. So nutritional yeast is something that's grown specifically as a food product. It's grown on like beets or in molasses. And then the byproduct is taken and dried and used as a seasoning like this or as a food. And it makes things taste kind of like cheese. You may have heard, but then I know a few people on here know about nutritional yeast because I know that Wendy's on here and I know she knows because I remember some years ago we were cooking. She said, "What's that stuff you have that makes stuff taste like meat?" And I said, "Oh, you mean the nutritional yeast?" I know she uses that. But people have used it to sprinkle on popcorn so that it can taste like cheese. I can't eat cheese. It gives me a terrible headache. But it is true if you add some type of fat, a healthy fat, and some salt, it will kind of taste like a cheese flavor. Nutritional yeast, you can buy it pretty much anywhere now. Before, you used to be able to only get it at a health food store, but you can buy it anywhere. And the way you use it is you cook with it. I put it in gravies. When I make gravies, it gives it kind of an umami flavor, not necessarily cheese. I think it depends on what seasoning you put in it. You put in it when you're baking, when you're making casseroles, any savory dish, you add nutritional yeast and it has a myriad of health benefits. It has all of the B vitamins. It has protein and a lot of nutritional yeast on the market. They actually add more B vitamins, but it naturally has some. It's high in protein and it can fortify any dish as well as make it taste good. Also, you can sprinkle it on vegetables. We talked last week about eating greens for your digestion for salad. You could make, when you make your own salad dressing, you can put some in there and it'll give it maybe a cheesy flavor if you want, or it can make it taste a little creamy. There's so many ways that you can add nutritional yeast to your diet. And when we've had our Sabbath school dinners, potluck, if I made a dish, more than likely I put nutritional yeast in. I put it in rice. You can put it in anything. Today, I'm going to actually make a vegan chicken salad. And one of the things that I'm going to put in there is nutritional yeast because it does help things kind of have a meaty flavor, but it provides the B vitamins that you need. So you can get the fortified or unfortified. Most of them now are fortified with extra B vitamins, but it's something we need, especially for depression. And if you're trying to be a vegetarian or vegan, it adds so much to your diet, your dish, and it helps you feel a lot better. And it gives you energy. Don't forget, B vitamins help to give you energy. So another thing that has been around for a very long time, Brewers yeast. This is a superfood that people put, I've heard on popcorn. I don't know why. This stuff is not delicious. It has to be debittered. I remember when I was little, my grandmother gave us this, mama gave us this, and back in the day, this stuff tasted terrible. Some people like it. I don't understand it, but it has the naturally bitter flavor. So recently, companies have started taking the bitterness out. But then I have found out by reducing the bitterness, they've taken a lot of the nutrients out. Let me show you what Brewers yeast looks like. It's another powder. I say, don't put this in your food. I say, put it in a cup, put some water, mix it up. I put a little cinnamon in mine to help it not taste so yucky. Put, in there, mix up small amount of water, mix it up and drink it. I think, Mama, don't you like Brewers yeast mixed with milk? She likes it. That's something, I guess they learned back in the 40s. I don't know, but that to me is not delicious. This is
I like
not
it too.
something. And Janine, something, yeah, well, I don't understand it. It's to be, but it is so full of nutrition. And this, as opposed to nutritional yeast, which is a good source of B12. This doesn't have the B12, but it does have chromium, which helps regulate your blood sugar. Now, and it has a lot of other minerals in it as well, and you can read on the label. This one is debittered and this one isn't. But when you do it, I would say just put it in something that can hide the taste. I have a friend who puts it in pineapple juice. That's her go-to to hide every nasty, yucky thing that is good for you, that doesn't taste good. She puts pineapple juice. So do that and drink it, and it will give you energy and a lot of nutrients. And you have a food as opposed to taking a pill. And one thing about chromium, this is naturally has chromium in it. It helps regulate your blood sugar. So this is a good source of chromium, is Brewers yeast. Again, please don't cook with this. Just take it. Unless you're Janine and Mama, they like to put it in milk and drink it. If you do that, try to get the debittered. Or if you want all of the minerals that naturally occur in this, you can get just the regular Brewers yeast. Now, nutritional yeast is my favorite of all of these because this actually tastes good. I put it in during cooking. I put it in after cooking. I put it in like the chicken salad, things that don't have to be cooked today, because I'm making that chicken salad out of tofu, by the way. This to me is delicious and a great way to get your B vitamins that you need. I remember my mother told me a story long time ago where my grandmother needed some nutrients and the doctor told her to get a yeast cake. A yeast cake is what bakers use, and that's what they use to bake with. I used to get yeast cakes from a professional baker. You can't buy it in the store because it naturally has a lot of B vitamins in it. These are the same family, but it's not actually the same thing. Brewers yeast, the live, is what they use to make beer. This is not the live yeast. And nutritional yeast, as I said before, is actually fermented and grown for nutritional support. So are there any questions or comments, or has anybody on here used nutritional yeast in their cooking?
I got a couple of questions though. So the first one, do you recommend a popcorn?
Okay, I couldn't hear you. What was that?
Do you recommend popcorn?
Do I put it on popcorn?
No. Is that something that you recommend us to eat just as a snack?
Oh, no. Well, actually, I would recommend popcorn because of its high fiber content, only if you get the non-GMO organic. I know you aren't into that, but corn is very modified. So if you can find some, and I've been told that popcorn can't be genetically modified, but I would say is the best kind that you can. And when you eat popcorn, make sure you drink a lot of water because this is nothing but a bunch of fiber and it will fill you up. So if we have Saturday night, we have movie night and we have popcorn, I'll make something healthy with it, like the cheese, my fake cheese with the nutritional yeast. You eat it, drink a lot of water because this is handfuls of fiber right here. That's what this is.
Okay.
And if you don't drink enough water with your fiber, you will feel like you have a dam built in your colon by some beavers. And no one wants that.
So do you put butter in your popcorn?
No, I don't. I either put the plant-based butter or mostly I use coconut oil because the way I make my popcorn, I make it on the stove.
Yeah.
I actually do it the old-fashioned way
Yes.
and put it on the stove, and I have a little pot that has that you close it, and it has a little lever on it. You just turn it on the inside, and that's the way I do it the old-fashioned way. So I put the coconut oil in there because it can stand high heat. The corn kernels and a little bit of pink salt. I put it in at the same time, and then I actually stir it. And when it comes out, that's when I'll add the nutritional yeast and a little bit of salt and right fat. So you want to add a little bit of extra coconut oil so it can have some fat in it to make it taste like cheese. To me, it doesn't taste like cheese on its own.
So, yeah, my other question. So the yeast that you use, do you use that to make bread as well, or is it a different type?
Okay, I heard some background.
Like bread,
noise.
like, sometimes people use that for bread.
No, when I'm making bread, I actually use this will not leaven anything.
Okay.
This is not a leaven. This is an inactive dead yeast. This was actually grown as a superfood. This brewer's yeast, you can get it live from if you want to make beer, but you have to get that from a specialty company. This is the inactive, quote unquote, dead brewer's yeast left over that has a lot of minerals and B vitamins in it. When I bake, I use a totally different yeast. I use an active dry yeast. That's inactive. You want to use an active yeast when you make bread. So when I make bread, cinnamon rolls, things like that, I use an active dry yeast.
Yeah, I'm looking for that. Just the recipe for the bread. I'm looking forward for that. And my last question. So so I know you talk about you drink it in water. Does it give you like a chocolate kind of taste? Because it looks like
no. I put some cinnamon in here because brewer's yeast is undelicious. It is not good at all. Now, this is a lot better because they took the bitterness out. With that, they took a lot of the minerals with it. But this is not delicious to me. Only Mama and Janine are the only people I know of who like the taste of brewer's yeast mixed with milk. To me, I just have to ask the Lord to help me as I take it, because I know it's really good for me. But to make it more palatable to me, that's cinnamon. What you see, I just add a little bit of cinnamon to it.
Hey,
I put it in my smoothie. Yeah. I put it in my smoothies.
Ooh, Lord.
Jada.
Yes.
Jada, I have always taken brewer's yeast. I just close my eyes and pray.
Yes.
And drink it.
Thank you, Aunt Gladys.
Yeah, I mean, you have to, because you think about the good that it does the body.
Yes. I remember the stuff that your mother, my grandmother, gave me. That old-fashioned brewer's yeast had all of the minerals, and it was completely bitter.
Oh, yeah.
Nowadays, these youngsters don't know what that's like because they have to be bitter, But like I said, only Mom and Janine, the only people I know of who like the taste of brewer's yeast. Brewer's yeast and nutritional yeast are two very different things. This is delicious. This, but they're very good sources of B vitamin. This is the source of B12 for you. It's the nutritional yeast, which we all need, even if you eat meat. So yes, thank you, Aunt Gladys. It is not delicious. No. Just try to hide the flavor.
How often should you take this brewer's yeast for the nutritional benefits?
Daily, because B vitamins are water soluble. So you need to eat foods that have a daily supply of B vitamins. Except for B12, that's stored, but you still need to get regular supply of B12, but daily. And if you cook with this, like I do, I put it in so many different savory dishes, then that is a good way for you to get the nutrients that you need daily.
I would like
and
to
you
make
can find the stuff anywhere too.
I would like to make two comments. You mentioned that brewer's yeast tastes bad.
Mhm.
I know in this country we're not used to it, but the country where I'm from, we are taught like the worse something tastes, the better it is for your health. That's that's something they put in our brain because some of the things they had me drink when I was young, I said, man, I would never drink them now. but but honestly, so the worse something tastes, it's not everything, obviously, but the worse something tastes, sometimes the better it is for you. And the second comment I would like to make is regarding Eddie mentioned about bread. If you're not into making bread, there's a good brand of bread I buy. It's called Ezekiel bread. I'm not advertising for them, but it's a very good healthy
Where?
bread. It's at the supermarket in the
You
frozen
can
section.
get Ezekiel bread anywhere.
Ezekiel bread anywhere.
Frozen.
And
Do you
It's in the
decide?
frozen
it's
section.
based on the Bible verse also, the bread. But anyway, I'm not advertising for them.
Do they sell
So
it?
I'm going to tell you about the Ezekiel bread. We used to buy Ezekiel bread all the time. And because of competition, I've discovered that Kroger is trying to compete with Ezekiel bread, and they're making their own version of Ezekiel bread that has a lighter texture. And to me, it's more palatable than the Ezekiel bread. So when you go out to look for your breads, you compare the Ezekiel and then the Kroger brand that's competing with that. You just see what you like better.
So just let me ask
And
you
then
this.
quick breads too, you can make yourself.
So is that bread like how you go when you go to the store in one section they have a bunch of bread? Is that what you're referring to?
No, it's in the
It's
frozen
frozen.
section.
Yes.
It's like a frozen bread.
Yes.
Yes.
It's all frozen.
Oh, okay. No wonder I'd never seen it because when y'all said Ezekiel bread, I was wondering. I don't think I'd heard of it.
Yes,
Yeah,
it's
if
in the
it's
freezer
frozen.
section only.
Okay.
And that's best too.
Okay.
Was when you
Well,
get bread, you should put it in the freezer when you get bread. Like I buy bread from a bakery, put it in the freezer as soon as you get home.
Okay.
So is it already sliced and stuff like that?
Already sliced. You're gonna
Yeah.
love it, Steve. You're gonna love
Okay.
it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, Anderson, I'm going to buy this, but let me tell you this. There are only three kinds of bread that I eat. I like just the baguette, just the French bread.
Mm-hmm.
I get the Italian bread, just at Publix, and Haitian bread. That's it. And I won't eat any other bread.
You can add Ezekiel bread to your list.
Okay, all right.
Yes. Yes. And it's delicious. And remember to also compare with the Kroger brand that is trying. What do they call it, Janine? Kroger is trying to compete with them. They have a whole line of vegan and healthy and organic products out, and theirs to me tastes better.
And for
And it's
taste,
sprouted. It's also sprouted just like the Ezekiel bread.
yes. And for taste, if you're looking for taste, I would suggest you try the raisin bread from Ezekiel. It tastes really good. You won't even know you're eating you're not eating traditional bread.
Do they sell it at BJ's too, is it only at Kroger?
They sell it at Publix. They sell it at Walmart. They sell it at Kroger.
That's in the frozen section.
Frozen section in the if you look, you'll find it. Yes.
Now, last question. Are you saying it tastes good, or are you saying that it's good for you?
I said for taste, you should
It's
try the
both.
raisin one.
It's both. Ezekiel bread does taste good, even though I do like the other brand better now. And it is good for you as well because it's sprouted. And that's another thing. These grains, it's hydrated. And again, there's the water. You sprout grains and hydrate them. Again, we need water. So if you take these things, you will see more energy. Nutritional yeast is my favorite of the bunch, but they're both good for you. And remember, nutritional yeast has all of the essential amino acids that we need.
Okay.
If I can make this comment, Jada, Eddie, if you're looking for taste, try the raisin one. The other one, it's an acquired taste for the other kind.
Oh,
You might have to put some
Yes.
stuff on top of it, some special stuff to make it taste better. But if you taste the raisin bread, oh, you love it. I love it so much. Yes.
Okay, that's good. I mean, I know that we used to have raisin bread too, but usually they don't last long. Once you leave them out, they actually spoil very, very quickly.
Yes. Both brands make a really good raisin bread. And if you're into bread and you're very careful, I'm very persnickety about the type of bread I consume as well. A really good bread, you can make a flat bread quickly yourself. I mean, it'll be flat, but it's still very versatile as well. On one of my vegan cooking classes, we made flat bread, and it was quick, and everyone really enjoyed it. So that's something you might want to consider, is just making a flatbread at home. I use spelt flour, but you can use any type of flour that you need, and you don't need yeast.
I never make bread. I never done that. So I would love to actually do that.
Well, next time I do a vegan cooking class, I guess I have to do that flatbread again, and I'll tell everybody about it. And it's easy and quick, and I know Mama loves it. She absolutely adores it, and it's freezable. It freezes well. It's very versatile, and unlike regular bread that takes hours to make, this is very quick. So are there any more questions or comments about our superfood that has the B vitamins that we all need and that Elijah needed? And that's why the Lord gave him some bread.
So I mean, yes, that bee, why don't we just go outside in the sun and we'll get our B vitamin?
But that's a D.
Oh,
D is different. D is, you talking about vitamin D as in dog.
I'm telling
D as
you,
in
I'm
boy.
not good at health. I'm not good at health. That's one area I'm not good at.
And D is more like a hormone, which we all needed anyway, especially during COVID. So we all need extra D as in dog.
Yeah.
B as in boy is what the grains have, what this nutritional yeast has, and the Brewers. So any more questions or comments? And I know Wendy put some comments in there. I don't know if she's still on there. She said makes really good vegan mac and cheese. That is true. When I make vegan mac and cheese, I use a lot of nutritional yeast along with the fat and other seasonings, makes it taste very cheesy, and salad dressing. And she says great in spaghetti sauce. That is true. I put it in almost every savory dish that I make. I put nutritional yeast in it. It's a really good foundation.
All right.
I only have one short comment. I will be trying nutritional yeast. As for the Brewer one, because of the taste, I don't know about that one.
Yeah. But don't be scared. Don't be scared.
Yeah,
Don't be frightened with it, because it does have more mineral content, like the chromium and stuff, than nutritional yeast. But yeah, nowadays, you newbies to Brewers yeast, you all can get the debittered. Just unlike what Aunt Gladys said, she had to close her eyes. I have to ask the Lord to help me. But I've learned that putting the cinnamon in it really takes away a lot of that bitterness. But now the new Brewers yeast, no, you all got it easy. It's not, you don't have to walk 10 miles to school every day. You can just get on the bus. So just try to see, if you can handle it, but just make sure you get the debittered.
I think I'm still traumatized by the sour thing they made me drink when I was younger. So for me to try this one now.
Yeah, I can understand that, because I had to take Brewers yeast when I was young too, and but it's better now. It's a lot better, and you can add things, or you can put in a small amount of juice. I don't know how Janine stands it in her smoothie, because to me, I want to enjoy my smoothie. Yeah. But she puts it in her smoothie, and it gives her a lot of benefits. Another thing I use, so I don't talk about supplements a lot, but I put D-ribose in there, which is a supplement, but it has a naturally sweet taste, and it also increases energy. And since Brewers yeast is good for energy, I take those together, and it removes a lot of that yuckiness from it as well. So we need our B vitamins any way we can get them, but these to me are a really easy way, especially nutritional yeast.
I have a question, Jada.
Yes.
What's the makeup of fats? I keep hearing you talk about fats. What's the components of fats?
Well, when I'm cooking, like let's say the popcorn, I use a high heat fat. I'll use the coconut oil. Or when I'm making salad dressing, I'll use olive oil. These are all healthy fats. Or you can use, some people like avocado oil. I don't use it that much, but you want a healthy fat when you're using the nutritional yeast to give it a meaty or cheesy flavor. So when I say fats, coconut oil for me, or olive oil and real olive oil. And some people use grapeseed oil for their high heat fat. Now with grapeseed, since grapes, I try to look for organic, because if not, a lot of times they use hexane to extract oil from hard things like that. And you don't want that. So I would say look for organic if you're going for grapeseed oil. So that way, because by law, they can't use hexane and other chemicals like that to extract the oil from the seed. So that's what I mean when I say fats.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm. So any other questions, comments, or like Wendy, dishes that she used nutritional yeast? Any savory dish, good. Okay.
Right.
And don't forget, drink your water. Drink your
That's
water
right.
this week.
Well,
Be like Steve and get you a big glass.
There you go.
well, some of us don't know just our weight. So how this division is actually gonna be done?
Well, what you could do is you can go to, do they still have those scales in the store, in the pharmacy section, where you can get on and weigh yourself?
Yeah.
They do.
And then you go to the grocery store where the pharmacy section is, weigh yourself, and that way you can figure out how much water you need. Take your weight in pounds. I weigh 130, divided by 2. Your quotient in ounces is how much you need. So don't forget, everybody, try to get your water in and you will feel a lot better. The Lord gave Elijah water. He
That's
was
right.
depressed and he was tired. It gives you energy. It helps your mood. We need water.
All right. Thank you, Jada.
Yes. Thank you very much, Jada. Very good. Very
Thank
good
you.
as usual.
Thank you.